Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me on another Tracks on Sundays. I'm Tracks to Max, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are on the Only Voids account today, and we are on day 50, as you can see. So we're going to collect this speed gear right here. That's going to be, hopefully, going to be nice. We'll collect all the other goodies. Mini pack, green shard. Yep, thank you. Today, I'm going to show you guys something I'm kind of excited about because I've been working on this thing all week and I'm not sure where to start. I guess I'll start by saying it started with this crazy idea I had, since we're kind of in a spot right now which a lot of the people who are participating on this are as well, and that's kind of being stuck, right? And once you're stuck, it's kind of hard to figure out, okay, what do I want to do now? What are the options that we have? And on an account like this, since we're only allowed to use our Void champions, we have to look at the Void champions. And something I noticed on one of the champions I pulled in the past was this champion right here, our Ragemonger. Now, you're going to look at the build and probably already get an idea what we're going to be trying to do today. But I saw this and immediately thought, I wonder if this can actually solo farm stages, because it's essentially something like a AoE poisoner, right? Okay, they're small poisons, and the percentage of hitting them isn't very good. But it does do that, right? It does give AoE poisons. Here, the A3, a 40% chance of placing the burn. Not very good. But once it's booked, it's a little higher. But, I mean, it's there. The chance of placing the burn is there, right? Also, A1 has something interesting, which at first I thought, man, this is a stupid ability for an attack-based champion. But if you think of him as a solo farmer, this is actually pretty handy, right? This is a nice boost to that healing, and as you're going to see, this comes in handy pretty well. Now, Ice Golem I've only done once, so we're going to see if it works again today. I did a couple of adjustments. I gave him some extra stats, some extra power, and we're going to see if he can do that still. So let's go here and we'll see if that is still the case. We're going to throw food in there. Exactly like I said, that's the whole idea behind this project, which I've been doing all week. I've been farming regeneration gear to have him be able to regenerate that HP, right? Like typically solo farmers do. And getting his masteries, getting him up to 60. You didn't get any poisons off here on the clam, or on the, not on the clam boss, on the, what is he called again? Is that Clive or something like that? I always forget his name. But the Ice Golem. Big dude. That can be a problem right there. That debuff is very bad for us. That's why Survival Instinct is pretty good, so that we get back to our cycle through our turns more quickly, right? See, this one is a tough one, and I remember it being this tough because of that heal reduction, right? But he's slowly doing it. And the debuffs are giving him that turn meter that he needs. I don't know if he can actually do it without that Survival Instinct, to be honest. It seems to be really helping him get more turn meter the whole time. We landed the burn. That's basically GG, I think. That should be it. Yeah. Boom. There you go. So that's Ice Golem 13 solo farm with a Ragemonger. And I mean, the reason why I'm doing this is because we're at a point right now where we kind of want gear, but we also want food. We also want silver. We want everything at the same time. And if we're just farming stages 16, we're not doing that, right? We're not able to do all the things at the same time. Or if we're just farming 12-3, well, we get a little bit of silver and we can farm our food, but we're not progressing everything at the same time. Now we know there's some fusions coming up. Now specifically, the next one we have to get 4 epic champions first, and then we can use those to fuse the legendary champion. Now we're not interested in the legendary champion because it's not a void champion. If it was, we would be interested, obviously, but maybe there could be an epic void in there, which we definitely do want to pick up, right? So having teams like this, where you can simultaneously farm your food and farm the dungeons, is going to be good for dungeon divers, going to be good for training and the specific dungeon itself, right? So for Ice Golem, for instance, this is how I'm going to be farming that. The speed is okay here, 2 minutes. I would like to see him, I don't know, maybe have a little bit more HP or something, or it looks iffy sometimes, right? But I guess that's the nature of Ice Golem. It's always kind of iffy. However, I'm going to show you this one right here, where we are doing the same thing, right? So stage 13, let's throw in the ones that we had a little bit leveled already, and voila. So this I've done, I don't know, I'd say about 20-30 times, and there's been quite a few times that it's actually failed. When does it fail usually? Well, see these guys with their crossbows and this guy right here, Tyrell, they have the ability to stun. Well, I believe it was Tyrell. Well, a couple of these guys have the ability to stun our champion, right? When our champion gets stunned 3 times in a round, that's usually when we go down. However, I have improved the champion quite a bit, actually, since the last time I've tried this, so I think we should be good now. But I'll go over everything once this run has been completed, right? You can see the small continuous heal buffs helping us out, helping us stay alive. The debuffs coming on to us. Attack down is like one of the best debuffs we can have on us because we don't really care about attack that much. It's more about the poisons, right? There you go. All right, now the dragon. So this is usually the hardest part, but if we can get the debuffs off like we did here, that was awesome. And if we can get some War Master procs, like you can see, that's another thing that helps a lot for us to get the damage that we need. Dragon puts up 3 debuffs on us, so you can see our champion going 3 times. Sometimes he's going 3 times for every time the dragon goes, right? Which is insane. So as long as we can get him down before he starts one-shotting us, which, you know, if you take too long, he can actually one-shot you, of course. You know, we're golden. So like that, voila, 2 minutes 10, and we got some XP along the way. Unfortunately, we got shards and we didn't get any items here, but I'll do another run real quick just so you guys can see again. But this is what I've been working on all week, and I've been pretty excited to show you guys because at a certain point on your account, especially free to play, you want to make it as efficient as possible, right? And that could mean just being able to farm stage 20 at 100%. That could also mean stuff like this, where you can actually farm 6-star gear, but also farm food at the same time. Personally, I'm a big fan of this because there's going to be a lot of gear you want to sell anyway. So occasionally getting that one piece that you keep is pretty nice, in my opinion. Yeah, and again, for things like tournaments and fusions where you have to do multiple things at the same time, Plarium likes to do like trainings during dragon tournaments or during ice golem tournaments, spider even sometimes. And if you can manage to get a champion that can do that by himself or herself, you're golden. You're using your energy optimal, right? So again, this run now seems very, very safe. It's possible there's a world where I could probably duo like stage 16 or something, but I'm not too sure about that yet. I haven't really been focused on that. I've been focused on trying to get this up to 100%, and we see another 5 mystery shards here. I forgot to take these out, didn't I? Yeah, that's a bit dumb. So that's not very efficient of me, but anyway, you get the gist of it. I don't know how exciting this is for you guys, but it was for me, especially because I mean, this guy is a rare, right? This is a rare champion. I did not book him, which if he would be booked, this would be a lot more efficient too. He would be a lot faster. This would have a lot higher chance to land, as would this. And he would just do a lot more damage in general, right? So his aura doesn't do anything for us, but this blessing, survival instinct, let's read it real quick. Fills this champion's turn meter by 5%. Every time they get a debuff, I think, right? Partially fills this champion's turn meter whenever a debuff is placed, spread, or transferred onto them. Occurs once per enemy turn. So, yeah, turn meter has no turn restrictions. Gives them a little bump in HP because, well, that's what all the blessings do. But this 5% turn meter fill for each debuff is just really, really nice. It helps so much in getting him back to rotating into healing up again, right? So let's take a look at his stats real quick. He nearly got 40,000 HP. Ideally, we would want more, but this is what we got for now. We got him up to 1,935 defense. Again, ideally, we want that to be higher so we could do more with them. His speed is at 208, which seems to be like a good spot to be at least above 200, because I've tried below 200 and like 195 or something, and I don't know, 2,100 or 2,200 defense, and the runs just failed. And pretty fast too. So like that extra speed cycling through his turns was very important for this champion to be able to do what he's doing right here. Crit rate, we have 104%. Obviously 100% is more optimal, but we do need the 100%. Why is that, Trax? Well, because his A1 enables this continuous heal whenever his hit is critical, right? So not only that, but we didn't really build him for damage other than his crit rate, so it's nice that these things get a little bit more damage off as well, right? So we're not 100% relying on this poison to be placed every time. And other than that, we have 146 accuracy. That's mainly from this chest right here. As you can see, I also ascended everything just to get as many stats as possible. I'm more or less out of oil right now, so that's kind of a problem, not gonna lie. But I really wanted this to work, and yeah, as you could see, it's doing just that, right? So we have some common boots on him, which I went ahead and farmed in Nightmare 6/6. This is something I tell a lot of people when I go in their account and they can't really get the speeds for some unkillable teams or whatever. I say, go over to Nightmare 6/6 in the campaign, farm yourself a bunch of speed boots in there, and you're going to be golden, right? Because this is by far the easiest way to get a high speed on a champion. Yeah, and I went ahead and did just that. Now, Luckily on our account, we don't need that many champions to be super fast. Maybe once we start doing arena more and we really want someone to be our speed booster, then we will eventually go back to campaign and do the same thing over again. But for now, I just needed this champion to be over 200 speed, and this was the easiest way for me to do that in a short amount of time, right? So then we picked up this ring, which is also quite helpful for what we've been doing. We rolled quite nicely on it as well, I must say. An HP ring that rolled a double defense. Got one flat attack, unfortunately, but we did manage to pick up another HP percentage roll right here, so that's nice. And that's a blood shield ring, which gives him a little shield, again, a little barrier every time he does a hit to absorb some of the damage coming in. Now, since he's not built for damage, it's just a very tiny shield. It's only like 250 damage or something, but hey, every small bit here helps, right? It's every time he takes a turn and does something, he gets a little shield for that. So that's, it's awesome. Other than that, we didn't manage to find an accuracy banner. That's basically why he's running this accuracy chest. If I could get an accuracy banner, I might switch these up, since I do have a defense percentage chest, I believe, in regeneration, so that would be an easy swap, especially if we can get some more HP on the banner. That would be fantastic. This was, by the way, a crit rate gauntlet, which didn't really roll that well for us. No speed on it, no HP percentage, but we just really needed that crit rate. So eventually, if we can get a better weapon or something and a better gauntlet for him, for instance, we can swap that around. So there's definitely some room for improvement here. I don't know how far we can take this guy, if we can actually eventually do stage 16 or not, but that would be perfect, right? If we could do stage 16 with this tactic, then we're really cooking, yeah? So let's take a look real quick at his masteries. So a little unorthodox use of masteries here. You probably don't build a lot of champions this way. Now, there was a couple of routes that we could have tried out here. Usually when you build a solo champion, you will go for Oppressor here, which increases the turn meter filled by 2.5% for each active debuff cast by this champion, stacks up to 10%. That's another way to cycle through those turns really fast, right? Because you're putting up a lot of poisons everywhere, and yeah, you're just getting tons and tons of turn meter the whole time. However, I opted to go for War Master because I think it's a little more flexible on where I can use this guy, and it also enables me to use him in Clan Boss. Now, we still have one free reset, so we can do that if we want. So I could still go for the Oppressor build if eventually I notice that that is actually the way I need to go. But also the fact that I don't have him booked yet made me want War Master above Oppressor for now, right? Because our chances to actually land the debuffs aren't very high. 2 times 50% here and only a 40% here is not that great. For that reason, I did opt to go here for Sniper, of course, so that we do get a little 5% extra there, which really helps. And then other than that, it's basically this Whirlwind of Death that's really important. Increases speed by 6 for each enemy killed by this champion. So that goes up to 18. And then here, increases speed by 8 for each dead ally, stacks up to 24. So we got a plus 24 and a plus 18 speed to make this all possible. So plus 42 speed, plus the turn meter that we're getting from Survival Instinct, plus sometimes the turn meter that we get from Arcane Celerity right here. These three things combined make it so that Ragemonger sometimes takes 3 turns for every 1 turn that the dragon takes. Dragon 13 has 100 speed, so that's why we are able to take 3 turns sometimes, right? And yeah, that's that's basically it. That's what I wanted to show today. I've been working on this all week, and I just thought it was pretty amazing. Now, let's take a look real quick here at the clown boss. I already did my keys, but as you can see here, I took out Fellhound, who has been an all-star for us through the whole beginning of this series. And I just thought, let's try Ragemonger, see what he does. And I'd say Ragemonger knocked it out of the park on this one. He is up there doing about the same damage as my Skull Crown. And Skull Crown has a double red star on her already, right? So she has some pretty crazy stats. And he's doing just about the same amount of damage. 19.12, that is very close to a 2-key brutal, which I'd say is a nice upgrade considering, yeah, like this guy is not even booked yet, right? Like he's not even booked yet. His gear is not very optimal. So yeah. I was pleasantly surprised with this champion, and I must say I sold him short. When I first got him, I just thought like, oh, wow, cool. Small poisons, who cares, But eventually being able to do this is fantastic, right? It's really great. I'm very happy that I decided to try this out. And hey, maybe someone out there also has a Ragemonger lying around and doesn't know that this is possible and is starting out the game. This could be your efficient way to farm some food and some gear at the same time. So here again, because he's just getting so many turns, he eventually lands those debuffs anyway, right? It's like one time it misses, but the next time it'll hit. And there you go. You're just farming some 5 and 6 star gear. I guess that's kind of okay. I might keep that for someone. I don't know. Probably not. Get rid. Wanted to show you guys this real quick. Now, he can't do this alone, obviously. So let me see here. The last time I tried this, I used this team. So one big thing you're going to see here is that I'm not bringing a Boro. Now, this is quite risky, but it might actually be better than the Aboro. But I'm not completely sold on this yet. I haven't failed a run since I've put Ragemonger in here, so this could be the first time it fails. If so, well, so be it. Then we know that at least it doesn't work the way we want it to work. But I've done like 3 runs on stage 20 with the Ragemonger instead of Aboro, and it hasn't failed yet. So now the waves are still just kind of problematic, but I would say Ragemonger does a better job at help clearing them than Aboro does because, well, he has AoE poisons, obviously, and just AoEs in general. So for that, he's a little bit better. Now, the boss, I think Aboro is probably a little better, but not by much, because if you land one burn or one double poison or something, you're almost in the same category as the Aboro. Aboro does hit a little harder, but one of the things that Ragemonger has over Aboro, like look at that, putting all the poisons on here is fantastic for us. But one of the things that the Ragemonger has over Aboro is Aboro's in lifesteal. So if the dragon gets off the stun, Ragemonger is going to heal with his regeneration set on, but Aboro doesn't have that, right? So Aboro is going to be relying on getting her turn again after the stun to be able to heal back up, while this guy just heals back up automatically. Now that's just something that's because of the set, not really the champion, but I wouldn't really see a reason to be putting Aboro into regeneration, right? So, whereas with Ragemonger, you kind of saw the use of that already. Now his accuracy is on the low end, so we're not going to be landing that many poisons, which is not great for us. But again, he's getting a lot of turns, so he's getting a lot of tries to actually do some damage. Even War Master procs do damage, right? Like there you saw the 19,000 pop up. Yeah, he's taking a lot of turns here, so it's almost never really in danger. Again, gets the stun, which pushes his turn meter again. Gets the poisons, pushes his turn meter again. Gets the burn off. That's what you really want to see, those burns, right? See how much damage that does. That's 69k right there. 69 and a half almost. Another burn. Nice. So, yeah, I think this one is in the bag again. There you go. See, and he's staying up together with our Skull Crown, which is usually a Boro and Skull Crown. Yep, there you go. It was kind of on the edge again, but I mean they're doing it, so. And I feel like he's doing a better job than Aboro is, which is insane because Aboro literally throws back attack down and has and poisons and has a defense down on the A1 and all that. And still I feel like Ragemonger is kind of doing a better job here. At least it feels safer. I guess I can put it that way, right? So let's see. Yikes, that's kind of bad, right? I guess I could try and... Do I have an ore? Let's see if I have an ore for that. Maybe it's worth oring. No, we don't. Then I'll just get rid of it. Unfortunately, but there's no world and we were going to use that, so... oh, we also got some new stuff, right? Let's see what we got. So attack percentage boots does have a speed roll here, but no crit rate to go alongside that, so that's kind of bad. No speed stats there, it's kind of bad as well. No speed stats there, that's kind of bad. Dude, okay, so this one has speed stats, but I don't know if I already had this one or not. Doesn't really say if they're new, right? No. Well, they're not new anymore, that's for sure. All right, but yeah, that was it actually for this week. I hope this may help some people out there that you can actually make some solo champions for Dragon and Ice Golem that aren't like the usual suspects, and farming lower levels can still be pretty optimal for a low level account such as ours right now. If there's anything you want to see me do in the future in the upcoming videos that I have for you guys, please comment it below in the comments. If you like my idea, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, hope you guys have a nice rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.